Hello once again, and welcome to Retire Your Way, powered by Thrive. With Ben Heiser, I'm your host, Spike Spangle. Ben, how are you doing this week, my
Spike,
friend?
I'm doing fantastic, man. We've been extremely busy with all the stuff that's going on out there.
There's a reason why we're busy. One of the things we're going to be talking about on today's program is continued inflation. I know that you have addressed it several times throughout this year on your programs, on your radio shows, and more importantly with retirees coming into the office every single day saying, what do we do? Do we need to change our plan? So those are some of the things that we're going to address on today's program, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Ben, bear markets, you know, they've been out of sight, out of mind for the last 10 to 15 years, but so has pretty much inflation been. Where are we at? Where do you see things going? Let's get this conversation kicked off here.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, at the end of the day, what we found is obviously we've had a 14-year bull market, and then the beginning of this year, halfway through, we're starting to see things shift. And so what used to be is not the same anymore. Inflation is rearing its ugly head, right? Interest rates have been very low. We're starting to see interest rates rise, and to control inflation, because it's a big buzz today. And so people are out there, I think, trying to scare people with inflation, but it's a real thing that we've always addressed with our clients because it's something that we need. And so when you focus on empowering people with information they deserve to know, so they can have clear expectations in the future and make decisions to optimize their wealth, they don't end up having a lot of these questions. But let's talk about these things for our listeners out there today. You know, in the last 10 years, the inflation average has been about a little over 2%. So not too bad. I mean, 10 years, you know, into retirement, it's only a 20% reduction of your lifestyle. When you look at the last 100-year average, we've been over 3.25. And if we look at like 6%, what that means is when we take a look at an income plan with somebody, and we take a look at, you know, the number one fear in America today, which is running out of money. This is just one more thing to stoke the fire, Spike. And so when you look at how do we set up a proper plan? Well, in the past, we used to have pensions and Social Securities that allowed us to have the fixed income source that guaranteed, you know, and it adjusted for inflation.
Right.
And so today we don't have those things. And so, you know, inflation affects us even more. It's like a termite. It's eroding at the purchasing power of our dollars. And so if we just took a 6%, let me just walk you through this. I had someone come in the other day, and looking at like a 6% inflation, inflation's a little over 8%. But if we take a look at 6%, that means that when you look at your fixed expenses in retirement plus your lifestyle goals, we look at that combined is retiring your way. But that's your paycheck and your playcheck. And so when you look at this in 12 years at 6% inflation, your paycheck and your playcheck money, the need that you have to retire your way, gets cut in half.
Wow.
I don't want you to think about that. You know, the things that you want to do, the things that you worked hard when you won the game of life, now you're saying, I got to cut that in half. Well, if we don't address it. So when you give us a call and when you connect with us, this is what we do every day, all day long. We help people thrive in retirement. Don't just survive, folks, thrive.
Right, right. And this is going to continue, I think, throughout the year. The Fed Chair, Jerome Powell, has said that he needs to continue to bring the pain in bringing down these inflation rates. As you've said, the 100-year average on inflation was usually around 3% or so. We're holding at 8-9%. From a key word you just said, interest, more specifically, 2 words, interest rates. Those continue to go up and up and up. Inflation, I'm not seeing it slow down. We know we go to the grocery store. You've tried to book flights for the holidays or to take spring break next year and so forth. The prices right now are just out of control. And for someone who is retired, they're really feeling that squeeze. I know you continue to talk about solutions throughout your program and your radio shows. What kinds of things are you doing? Are you asking people to take more risk right now in their investments, or do we have other kinds of solutions to keep their income going?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the biggest concern that most people have, and maybe you share this concern, you know, we looked at a study of 2022, and the number one fear today is running out of money in retirement, even more than dying. And so when I look at that, it just comes back to me, Spike, of what used to be and what is today. Again, you can have the retirement of the past where you have guaranteed sources of income that adjust for cost of living and inflation. You can have those solutions. It's just a matter of where we have to put those. So as a full service wealth management firm, yes, there's portions of your money that need to be designed for growth. We have to be able to keep up with inflation. Because one thing that people don't realize is if you put all your money in cash because the market is going down and we're freaking out about it, if we just look at inflation at 3%, you know, 15 years into retirement, you've cut your lifestyle goals and dreams by 37% in a safe way. And so there's a balance of growth and emergency, and then again, guaranteed sources of income. And this is what we do because we specialize in the areas where people are getting close to retirement, are already in retirement, making sure that you're never compromising that fixed expense, the lifestyle goal. So your paycheck and your playcheck are guaranteed, folks, so that you can thrive in retirement.
One of the things, especially about the organization that you've been doing this year with Thrive, is we've just been adding so many different things that you can do for the viewers out there. Currently, we are doing a retirement readiness review and an inflation report. I believe now that you have specific software that's going to help people figure out where they're at, solutions. Maybe you can describe a little bit of that for us?
Yeah, so one thing that we've worked really hard on is having a great team, the technology necessary to analyze the thing. So we're not giving an opinion, because Spike, an opinion's like an armpit. We all have them and they stink, right? So what we want to do is take a look at the technology. And so we can do this inflation report inside of our technology, review what that's going to look like, reduction of lifestyle, how that impacts your wealth overall, and then make tweaks to it if necessary to make sure that you don't find yourself shrinking up and just surviving in retirement. We don't want you to survive. We want you to thrive in retirement. To do that, it's just a simple thing. You got to pick up the phone. You got to let us know that you want some help, and we'll sit down with you, see if you're retirement ready, or if you haven't reviewed something, we can do that. Who is this for? This is for someone who's saved money. You're concerned about what's happening. Maybe you're not getting the advice that you're needing to solve these types of issues, and you're concerned about running out of money in retirement. That's what this retirement readiness review is all about. And so you can visit us. You can click that QR code. That's a pretty important thing.
A fun toy. We've actually had it for a little while, so maybe we can explain a little bit more about it. If you open up your phone right now and go to the camera, point it at the QR code. So you've got, first of all, a little quiz on there. It's actually a fun quiz. It's can you retire? And then if you scroll down to the bottom, you can book your own appointment right there if you want to. So you can call the phone number, you can use the QR code on the front of the screen right now, or you can just keep watching our show right now while we continue to talk about the Retirement Readiness Review and Inflation Report. Ben, I'm going to take a very short break right now. We're going to be back on this. Folks, call right now and get your own Retirement Readiness Review with inflation report. What does that mean to you? We want to know, are you going to run out of money in retirement? What choices and little tweaks could we maybe make to your retirement plan and strategy right now? And it's complimentary to the viewers of the program. Call 855-855-7655. More Retire Your Way and the Inflation Report when we get back with Ben 𝐢𝐳𝐼 right after this.
Call 855-855-7655 for your retirement readiness review with Inflation Report. Inflation continues to hit all-time highs. Will your investments provide you with income you need in retirement? Are you losing purchasing power of your savings? Don't let runaway inflation erode your retirement dreams. Now's the time to act to be certain you have an income strategy that overcomes the effects of inflation. Call Ben and his team at 855-855-7655 for your no-cost retirement readiness review with Inflation Report. You might have the savings you need today to weather this storm, but how will inflation affect your nest eggs 5, 10, 15 years from now? Discover the peace of mind you deserve. Call Ben and his team now at 855-855-7655 for your no-cost retirement readiness review with Inflation Report, or use the QR code to schedule your appointment today.
Welcome back to Retire Your Way with Ben 𝐢𝐳𝐼. I'm your host, Spike Spangle. We have to keep addressing the inflation that's going on, especially for today's retiree, today's investor. And I think that's something you were saying right before the break is kind of who is ideal to get this advice. Somebody who's serious about retirement, right? Yep. Somebody who's maybe been feeling the pain from this, somebody who is confused about what to do. So let me maybe speak to somebody who's possibly had an advisor or maybe they think they have an advisor. How is Thrive different? What is different about working with a group like yours as opposed to a firm out there who is maybe more about accumulation and building wealth?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a difference between like big box firms out there and private. And so what we do is we are independent. We are independent and private. So we can help you in every area of finance. But most importantly, with that, you know, we have the team, we have the technology. We've proven the test of time. We've been in business almost 2 decades now, and we're trusted. So we've never had a complaint. And why? Because we want to make sure that our clients, our Thrive community, if you will, they have the flexibility and the ability to understand their money. They understand what they deserve to know, so they have clear expectations. Inflation is one of those things that, unfortunately, if you've noticed, stuff like Social Security, right, or your big box companies, you give them a call, right, and what do? Here's your options. Well, and that's what it's designed for. There's custodians out there that hold your money, and then there's firms out there that help you add strategy to your money. There's a difference. So is Fidelity and Vanguard great companies? Yeah, but in general, they hold your money. They're custodians. They're not sitting there adding the strategy necessary to make you successful in and through retirement. So that's why when you call your 401k company and say, hey guys, what's going on? And they go, yeah, these are your more conservative things in there, and you have to pick it out on your own. The difference between us is we're going to take the information that you have. We're going to put it into our technology that allows us to not replace the advice, but what it allows us to do is pull things in real time and make it way more efficient so that we can see the impacts of inflation to your wealth. We can see the impacts of risk to your wealth. We can see the impacts of taxes to your wealth so that we're not guessing. So we don't want to be reactionary. You know, I'm a parent of 4 kids. You know, the times that I am reacting are not the times that I'm the most pleasant human being in the world, right? And so it's no different. Look, we want to make sure that you're proactively looking at these different things. If your people have not addressed inflation until today, man, they haven't been preparing you for retirement. If they haven't addressed how much risk you have in your portfolio, they haven't addressed really the necessary things. So what are you getting for the fees that you're paying? And so if you would like a custom tailored approach that's white glove to you, that's the difference that Thrive is here. Look, we are here. We don't want you to survive because we didn't plan for things like inflation. We want you to thrive in retirement. So folks, how do you do that? You got to look at your fixed expenses plus your lifestyle dreams. That equals retiring your way. And what is that? That's your paycheck and your paycheck. Where is it coming from? Is it coming from something that's uncertain and making you feel uneasy? Or is it coming from a place that is guaranteed and growing so that you don't have to worry about running out of money in retirement?
Just some simple numbers here. If inflation is 3%, your need for income doubles between 24 to 36 years, okay?
Yeah.
So kind of the duration maybe of a retirement. At 6%, your income need doubles every 12 years, and at 8.6, your income need basically doubles in about 8 or 9 years. This is what folks are experiencing right now, so what are you talking about with clients?
So the thing is that you can look at this 2 ways. What Spike's saying is your income needs to double. Or you can look at it as what percentage of my lifestyle is getting cut out if I don't address this. So, you know, if you're looking there and saying, okay, well, in 10 or 12 years, my lifestyle is cut in half, that's not thriving, that's surviving. And so how do we address this? Well, we have to look at the right tool for the right job. There are asset classes out there that are specifically designed to eliminate risk, eliminate fees, and give you guaranteed income that increases to help you address concerns of inflation and running out of money. I want you to think about this for a second. If you could eliminate the #1 fear in America today of running out of money, how would that feel? The burden that's lifted off of your shoulders. When you give us a call and you come see us, we'll show you how we've done that with over 1,000 client families and helping them accomplish their dreams. Folks, we don't want you to survive. We want you to thrive in retirement.
If I can ask, are you having current clients, people who you've worked with for years, are they also picking up the phone saying, Ben, are we doing, I'm watching these stock markets go down. I'm seeing the inflation numbers. Should we be worried? Do we need to change our lifestyle? How is it going with folks you currently work with?
Well, that's great. So, Spike, that's a great point because our clients have a plan. The difference between owning products that limit your plan and having a plan that dictates the product and asset classes that you need to be successful, that eliminates the fear. So our clients aren't afraid today. Yes, we've gotten a couple calls when we do our wealth reviews with people to say, hey, we've adjusted for this. Isn't that nice? So we get to help people. What I love about what we do is we get to help people accomplish their dreams in retirement. To retire your way is our passion. To help you do it, we use the right tools. You don't use a hammer to screw in a screw. So what you have to use is the proper asset classes. And so you have people out there that go, all we do is focus on risk, so all you should do is put your money at risk. Well, here's the challenge with that, Spike. If I put all my money at risk, when the market's going up, it's fine. What happens right now where the market's on average down 20 or 30% for the year? Are you cutting 20 to 30% of your lifestyle out? Or did you just reduce your time horizon for how long your retirement lasts, by 8 to 10 years? Folks, neither one of those things sound amazing to me, but when you give us a call, these are things and questions that we can address to make sure that you don't have the fear that you're looking at today. We're not here to scare you, we're here to prepare you so that these aren't questions or things you worry about. What you should worry about in retirement is enjoying your dream.
It's interesting because when events like this happen, sometimes the phone will ring off the hook. And I know you're getting lots of phone calls, you're getting lots of emails from folks, but this is also a time of fear and indecision for some people. And I can completely empathize with that. A lot of folks out there are sitting there wondering, what do I do? Yeah. One of the most active things you can do is to pick up the phone, talk with a professional. Who would be best to call if you're serious about retirement? Is this keeping you up at night? Are you worried about yourself and your spouse? Will you be able to maintain your lifestyle? That's someone who you want to be able to pick up the phone and just have a conversation with, right? Just to be able to talk to them about some of the solutions. So the Retirement Readiness Review, you'll take a look at their investments, taxes, fees, and a bit of this inflation report as well, correct?
It's in every single one. That's correct, yeah. We have to address inflation. We always have and we always will.
Right. So call right now, get your own Retirement Readiness Review. We want to make sure, whether you have retired or you're at the beginning of retirement or you've been there for a few years, you want to get your own Retirement Readiness Review. If you have an advisor who you have been working with, that's fine too. Get a second opinion. There's no cost to it. But we also want to run the inflation report. All of this is complimentary to the viewers of the program. Give us a call right here, 855-855-7655. More with Ben 𝐢𝐳𝐼 and Retire Your Way when we get back after this.
Call 855-855-7655 for your own complimentary retirement readiness review and risk report. Why take unnecessary risk when you don't have to? When nearing retirement, are you still driving your investment accounts like you were in your 30s or 40s? Have you changed your investment elections since you first chose them? Do you truly understand the risk associated with your investments? Call Ben and his team at 855-855-7655 for your own complimentary retirement readiness review and risk report. Do you know exactly how much risk you're taking in your investment accounts? Now that you've accumulated a nest egg for retirement, you want to be certain the risk you're taking in those investments matches your goals and objectives. Call Ben and his team now at 855-855-7655 for your own complimentary retirement readiness review and risk report, or use the QR code below to begin scheduling your appointment. You may not have time to recover from taking too much risk.
Welcome back with Ben 𝐢𝐳𝐼 of Retire Your Way. I'm your host, Spike Spangle, and the inflation issue continues to loom throughout the year. What I'm concerned about is how folks might be trying to solve it on their own. Somebody who might not be working with a financial professional. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? Ears to the ground. Are people addressing it properly?
So a lot of people, again, let's define inflation, I guess, first. I mean, maybe you're just joining us, and so we're excited that you just joined us. But inflation, we're talking about inflation right now, how it impacts your wealth, how it impacts the confidence that you have in your retirement. And so what I find people do on their own, Spike, is they're not looking at it, they're not addressing it, they just begin to shrink up. So what is inflation? Inflation is kind of a invisible tax, or the way I like to look at it is, it's like a termite. You don't see it, but if you put it in a piece of wood, what is it doing? It's eroding at the stability, or the impact or the strength of that wood. The inflation is like a termite. It's eroding at the purchasing power and the strength of what you can do with the dollar. And so the higher that it is, the less you can do. And so here's what people do on their own. They just do what they've always done. They shrink up a little bit and go, man, I just don't know why my money is not going as far as it did, so we just do less. They go back to work or get a part-time job, even though that wasn't part of their retirement dream. Once they won the game of life, now they're going back into the workforce. And so we do what we have to do because we haven't necessarily been prepared for the impact of what inflation does. It literally diminishes the purchasing power of the dollar that we have in our pocket every single day. So having a plan for it so that you can just continue to enjoy retirement, again, it's why we come back to your fixed expenses are not the only thing we prepare for in retirement. It's also your lifestyle goals, your travel plans, right? Your hobbies, the different things that you want to do with your time. I even look at elevated wise with people. If money wasn't an object, what would you do with your time? Where would you spend it, and where would you put the extra money? See, we want to have different conversations with you, because once we understand your dream and your fixed expenses, we now know how to help you retire your way. Inflation is just one piece, one hazard that can get in the way of you successfully living out your retirement dream. And so if you do it on your own, you might find yourself surviving. Folks, don't survive, thrive in retirement.
One of the things, we do know that there are cost of living adjustments on things like Social Security. I think this year it'll actually be quite high. It's usually based on the third quarter of the Consumer Price Index. That was around 8-ish% somewhere. Unfortunately, though, that comes next year. So you have to go through all of those expenses. So I want to talk about another tool while we've got a few minutes left in the program. How about something like an annuity? Is it too late to pivot to something like that that will increase over time? Maybe something that's managed by an insurance company, something that you can have. I know there's sometimes high fees in there, but what about managing outside of the stock market right now?
Well, I mean, there's different types of annuities. And so there's fixed annuities that work like CDs. There's variable annuities that have risk and fees, and then you have fixed indexed annuities, and those are typically the solution that we use to help somebody have the retirement of the past, the guaranteed and increasing pension, and coupled with their Social Security. That way, you have your paycheck and your playcheck, and it's guaranteed and increasing. So what is a fixed indexed annuity? It eliminates risk, it eliminates fees, and when interest rates are increasing like they're doing today, it only gets better and better and better. And so for folks out there, you can get a 20 to 35% signing bonus right now for your retirement income account.
Time out. What do you mean? What do you mean? That sounds great.
Yeah.
What do you mean by signing bonus?
So it's so when you look at an annuity, they're time-based products. You have to commit to time. So the way that their risk is, it's about liquidity risk. You have a percentage that you're getting, but if you need an income that's guaranteed and increasing for the rest of your life, an annuity is a fantastic opportunity.
So in a way, like the old-fashioned bank CD, I commit to a certain amount of time, 1 year or 3 years or 5 years or 10 years, and I'm going to get my money back from it, and I earn a certain amount. In the annuity can be the same thing. Now, again, though, let's address those fees. You're saying there are ones that have much lower fees, and there are some annuities out there that have much higher fees, right?
So there are annuities out there that have fees and risk, and there's annuities out there that have no fees and no risk. And so what we use, because we don't want you to compromise your lifestyle in retirement, are products that have no fees and no risk, but they give you the flexibility of having an increasing cost of living adjustment to your income. Would you like that? That's the big question, because there are folks out there that just focus on risk. That's great. Hey, you know what? Our active money managers, I've never seen a portfolio we can't crush, mitigate your risk, maximize your reward. It's not the place to put our income need money. Why? Because when things drop, we have to cut our lifestyle. Cutting your lifestyle is surviving. Folks, don't survive, thrive in retirement. Let's get your lifestyle goals, your fixed expenses so that you can retire away, guaranteed. And then we'll focus on the money that needs to go into risk, mitigate the risk, maximize the reward.
For brand new viewers, for somebody who's been walking by their living room and the program was still on after the news here or so forth, they've never had a retirement readiness review. Tell me some of the bullets. What are some of the things that, it's not just to be talking about inflation and doing inflation report. What elements do you cover? Well,
what's nice about us is we've challenged the status quo by looking at technology that allows us to serve you better. Now, in this technology, we're going to put your income, we're going to put your investments in your savings accounts, we're going to put taxes and inflation and all of these different things and your costs. So we need to look at your fixed expenses and your lifestyle goals. Once we understand that, we can take a look at how do we optimize or put your money in the right buckets or colors of money to give you the income, the growth, and the emergency cash necessary to be successful. We also look at fees and how to look at all of those different things that are hazards to the success of you compromising retiring your way. Folks, don't just survive, thrive in retirement. To do that, click that QR code, pull your phone out. Spike's going to give you a phone number. Give us a call. We'll give you a second opinion. You can't get that from the first person.
I think this is one of those times right now that if someone is giving you advice who might be holding onto your accounts and just saying, hold on, don't worry, it comes back, this is not the time to be taking that kind of advice. The best thing you can do is be proactive, right? Mm-hmm. So you can call it, whether it's us or whether it's someone like us, you want to make sure that you're getting active advice right now. And part of that is by doing a retirement readiness review. Real quick, do you see inflation going down anytime soon?
It's not a problem that's going to be fixed in the near future. Folks, if you believe that the money that you've worked hard for, you deserve to know this type of information, we do. We're happy to share it with you. When you give us a call and come see us, we'll help you understand what your money's doing, where it's at, the hazards that may impact your dream, and we'll help you thrive.
Ben, thank you so much. We're going to be back again next week. And of course, you're helping people in the offices every single day. Folks, call right now. For the viewers of the program, you get your own retirement readiness review and a risk report. What are the risks that are affecting your ability to retire? Let Ben and the team help identify that for you. All you've got to do is give us a call. You can use the QR code on the bottom of the screen as well. Open up your phone, go to the camera. You can go click an appointment right there or call us right now, 855-855-7655. Thank you for watching Retire Your Way. We'll be back again next week.